Hello, everybody. It is another Tuesday night, and we are here live. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. It's been quite, well, let's just say it's been quite a busy week for me. So, and it's only Tuesday night. But glad you guys are all here, and glad you all made it tonight. Although I do know of a few people that have already left because of certain things. So let's do some shout outs here. Sin Forest, I'll be back 30 minutes. Hope notifications are working okay. Judy Smith, hey Eric, I wish I could join, but it's late on the East Coast and I'm trying to rest as I have COVID. Hope everyone is doing well and hope to catch you next time. Well, Judy, please take good care of yourself. You are well, there's only one you, so there's no replacement. Take good care of yourself, and you can always catch the replay. Okay. Hello, Miss Remo J. Hello, Sandy Adger. Hello, Susan. Hi, Linda. And Tantrum is here from New Zealand. Kia ora. I hope I said that right. Well, I should know that if I'm from Hawaii, so I should know how to say that. Margaret Hassler is here. Hello, Margaret. Miss Kinono Show, how are ya? Glad you made it here tonight. Carla Ford. Hey, Carla. How you doing? Glad you made it here tonight. Jimmy Tony's here. Good evening, Jimmy. And Remo J is reminding everybody. Oh, well, no, she's saying. Oh, she's telling Judy to take care. Yes, Judy, please take care. Linda Denton is here. Hello. And Kat F is here. Hello, Miss Kat. Susan Yearout says, I have a headache due to slipping and falling last Thursday. I hit my head on the edge of the bottom shelf at the supermarket. Ooh, Susan. Oh, Susan, please take care of yourself. Go get yourself checked out by a doctor. Make sure it's not a concussion. Prayers for you, girl. Hello, Miss Jackie. And Ms. Barb Olson is here. And my video is very choppy. I'm not sure why. Anyway, let's keep going. Judy Herbert is here. Or Hebert is here. Hello, Judy. And we got Charlotte DeRoches. Donna Hoffler's here. Mona did what? Hey, girl. How you doing? Hey, bestie. That's Miss Tiffany. She's also here just listening because I'm watching a movie, Magic Mike, the last movie. Okay. Well, you went to see the show, so I guess you should see the movie. Donna Flute's here. And S. Taylor is here. Hello. So, let me see. I realized that Sorry, I'm just trying to check on, because I know the video is very choppy. Yep. Okay. I apologize for this video being very choppy, so I'll try to not make any real sudden movements. And as you saw in the title, hopefully you saw the title, there's been a lot of questions about my machine here. So there's been quite a few questions about this Juki machine. And sorry, I know, moving the camera. So I kind of figured I didn't really have a project for today. So I wanted to actually showcase this machine because there's been a handful of people that have been asking questions. And I figure since many people don't know about industrial machines, it might be a time, or it might be a good time for me to actually talk about this machine on a live. More recently, someone had asked me a question about the table. And so I figured, you know what, let's just do a YouTube live topic. So, because I didn't actually have a project to do, and my baby quilt is on hold right now. Okay. let's see. Let me just throw this question out there. Does anybody have an industrial machine? Now, when I say industrial machine, I mean like an actual industrial machine. I'm not exactly talking about those machines like the Juki 2010 TL, those semi-industrial machines. I mean, I'm talking like the real heavy-duty industrial machines that you see in sewing factories or sweatshops. I'm just curious if anybody else has one out there. It's not a concussion, Eric. I went to the emergency room. I have 2 staples to keep in the laceration closed. Okay, well, that's a good thing, Susan. Yeah, just hope that you heal fast, and hope that those headaches don't continue on. So prayers for Susan and prayers for Judy. Okay, so let's see. There's a lot of people saying no, 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 no. Okay, so let me walk you through. Hang on a second. Okay, the camera's gonna be shaking. I'm gonna just put the screen on pause so that you're not getting so dizzy, and I can bring you back here. Da, 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 da. Okay, so what's cool about doing this on a cell phone is I can move the camera around. There we go. Okay, so let me move back a little bit here. So this is the Juki. This is a Juki DDL 5550, as you can kind of see from there. Right. Now, this is an actual industrial machine, one that you will find in, well, it's an older model, so I'm not sure if people still have these in factories. I do see them around here in downtown LA, still being used. And although it's an older model, I think it's over 10 years old now when it first came out. But although it's an older model, it still works. It's still good to have. Okay. So different parts of it, there is a thread stand there. Don't mind the mess in the background, but there is a thread stand. This is what we normally see. This part here is what we call the machine head. Okay, this is the recognizable part that any sewing machine. Here you got thread tension. This is your major top tension here. Your take-up needle, if I can angle the camera, is right there. So this is the part that you see going up and down on sewing machines. You got a number of different thread paths or thread tensions and thread holes. Then, of course, the bobbin area. Now, I do have a separate light attached here, so this kind of came as a whole package, but usually you don't get a light. You do have to purchase a separate light. Okay, now moving off to the side here. Hand wheel. And you do see that there's supposed to be a cover for this, but I didn't bother putting the cover on. This is the belt that actually operates the machine. And my bobbin winder is here. Okay. So one of the questions that someone had asked me before was, they were looking to actually purchase the table. And here's the thing. The table and the machine, it comes as one unit. Okay. So if you buy this particular machine, you're buying the table with the machine head here. Let me move it back. Sorry. Hope that it's not bothering people. Okay. So again, when you purchase an industrial machine like this, you got to purchase the table with the machine head. Now they do sell the tables separately and they do sell the machine head separately, but most of the time you can't have, or you can't operate this sewing machine with just the machine head itself, and I'll show you why. Here's why, because I'm gonna flip this forward. And what you're looking at is basically the guts of the machine. So when it comes to this machine head, it's all mechanical parts. There's nothing electrical about it. And so the motor for that actually runs the machine is actually underneath this table here. It's actually attached. And so the motor gets attached to the table here. I can't show you underneath there because it's just too dark and I don't think the camera's you're gonna be able to see anything. But just know that there is a motor that's attached underneath this table. That motor is what spins this belt here. As the belt spins, that's when the needle starts to go up and down. So hope that makes sense. Okay, now if anybody has questions, just throw them in the chat. I am kind of spot checking the chat a little bit. Okay, so this is the inside of the machine. Again, there is no, it's all mechanical parts. There is no electrical part here. It's just basically a system of pulleys, knobs that gets turned around when the hand wheel starts going. Okay. So yeah, all of this here is just basically, like, you can kind of see the bobbin there moving around as I'm turning the hand crank or hand wheel. And then on this side, sorry, well, you can't see it, but inside in this little hole in there, if I could flash a light in there, I would, but you can see a lot of pulleys and maybe, can I get it? No, you can't see it, but there is a whole system of these bars like this that are kind of moving around as the hand wheel's turning. Okay, so Margaret, yes, we're looking at the oil pan here, and the oil that this machine does take, it's basically the same kind of oil that gets sold for regular machines, although they package it like this is some special type of oil. But this is what they call an oil pan. And basically you just take your oil, you dump it out in here. There is a whole system. Whoops. Nope. And the machine itself oils itself. So this little rope thread looking thing gets soaked into the oil. And as the machine is operating, it spins around and it starts feeding the oil through this tube here, and it lubricates all the mechanical parts that are in this machine head here. Okay. Now I could take this machine head if I wanted to, if I just wanted to replace it or change it out with a different model. So long as the model can fit into this table, I could do that, but I can't. Again, I need the table because the motor that actually runs this entire machine head is attached to the table. So if I take the machine head out, I can replace it with another machine head, but I can't operate just with this part. I need the table and the machine head to go together. It's a wick. Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. Thank you, Susan. Okay. Okay. Now, Yes, I do have to change. Actually, I should change the oil very soon because it's very yellow in there. So I haven't changed it in a while. But that's basically the inner guts of the machine head. Ugh. And the machine head is solid cast iron. So this in and of itself is about 50 pounds. With the table, about another 50 pounds. So you're looking at a whole 100-pound unit. So when you set up this machine, once you set it up, you're not moving it unless you put it on casters. But pretty much it's, you plop it down, it's staying there. Okay. So definitely, I mean, I guess if I really needed to, I could take this to retreat, but that's a lot of weight to be carrying around. So yeah, it's more of a permanent fixture in your sewing room. It's not gonna be something you'll be moving around. Okay, so let me pause here for a second and reposition the camera. Sorry, I know it's camera shake. Impressive machine. Well, thank you. That is really ingenious, as you don't have to remember to oil it. Yep. But you do have to remember to change out the oil, though. Okay, Eric, is it complex to learn how to use the machine? Okay, Sandy, I'm glad you asked that because I am going to be demonstrating how this machine sews. Well, you've probably seen it on a lot of the videos, but I will be doing some sample sewing for you. Okay, now, oh, one thing I did forget to mention, the foot pedal. And sorry, I'm gonna put it on, I'm just gonna move the camera so that you're not so dizzy. Oh, wow, this camera does pick up a lot of light. Okay, so there's the foot pedal here. And so, sewing foot, quilting foot. The foot pedal is actually attached to the table itself. So that's another thing in which it's not like a single cord and then you got to go do that footsie thing trying to search for the foot pedal. The foot pedal is stationary because it is attached to the table. And it just operates like any other foot pedal. So I don't know if you can hear the machine, but oh, it is on. And then this lever here, this is our knee lift. So when I'm sewing, I can just press my knee against this and it'll actually lift the sewing foot. Not this sewing foot, but the presser foot, I should say. And if I'm ready to sew, I can just let go of the lever. So knee lift, very convenient thing to have. Power switch, don't mind the trash. Here's the power switch to turn power switch to turn the unit off or the motor off and on. And let me try and get it. There's the motor. Okay, so again, the motor is attached to the table and you can't, you need the table in order to actually operate this machine. So you can't just have this machine head. You actually do need the table because the motor is attached to the table. Okay, so let me pause for a second. Let me reset. Okay, any questions that, let me see if people had any questions. Let's see. Add the motor and it should weigh about 250. Actually, Judy, the motor is actually the smallest part of all of this. And as you can kind of hear, it's what they call a servo motor. I think that's what they call it. But basically, the motor doesn't run until you actually engage the presser foot. So you don't hear it right now, but once I step down on the presser foot, you can probably hear it. Okay, hello, Miss T. Glad you made it tonight. And she's ripping. Uh-oh. Did she do a round quilting pattern again? Okay, is yours a servo? Yes, it is a servo. Servo motor. Okay. I wish they would have a knee up, down position with the presser foot lifting up on these machines. I just can't with the knee lift. Knee up, down. Okay, I'm not sure what she was saying there. Okay. So let's take a look again. And we'll see. Sorry, I'm shifting the camera again. Let's see if that works. Okay. So this is the presser foot. This is the standard presser foot that the machine comes with. Actually, it's the only presser foot that's designed for this machine. So one of the big things about industrial machines is that it's basically designed to do one thing and one thing only. Unlike your regular home sewing machines that can do a whole slew of things with embroidery, with all the 75,000, 800 million different decorative stitches. You know, industrial machines, most of them can only do one or two things. This machine only sews straight stitches. So it just goes forward, backward. It doesn't do all the decorative stuff. It doesn't do all that fancy zigzag and whatnot. Because, again, this machine was just made or designed to do one thing, and that is just straight stitching. So the only foot that I could find for this machine is just this guy. Now there is a zipper foot, I should say. Kind of a standard, more of a standard zipper foot, but it's your pretty basic presser foot. It's a little bit, might be a little bit different from what you normally see on like a Bernina machine. But I do know that the Jukis use this design of a foot. I'm not sure if the brothers also use this type of design. And this wire thing that comes in the front here, that's what they call a finger guard. So when you have it on the machine, let me put the handle up here. Basically, it kind of looks like this. And the guard is actually to prevent your finger from going into the path of the needle, because again, the needle will, if you put it here, the needle will go through your finger. So that's a good safety feature to have. Let me take this off, and then it's a side loading bobbin. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse here, and you can kind of see, let me go in down. So these are your feed dogs. They actually look a lot more different from your standard feed dogs that you see on home sewing machines. Basically, you only got these two. Whoops, sorry. You got these two feed dog teeth here. I've seen some other machine, like a Bernina, they got like 4. on each side. So your feed dogs are, the space for the feed dogs is actually very, very narrow, is what I noticed. Okay. And so let me just clean this off for a second. It's been a while since I did a cleaning. Okay, I try to clean out the bobbin or this bobbin case area on every bobbin change. Okay. Okay, sorry. Let me put that down. And your needle case. What's everybody doing tonight, by the way? Let's see. Thumbs up aren't matching. Okay. Hello, Miss Shirley. How are you? Hope everything is going good in Canada. Hello, Katie Crafts. Jimmy says, I needed a finger guard many years ago for I actually sewed the tip of my finger. Ouch. Ooh, yeah, that's not... That sounds painful. I wonder if you could use stretch that for knits. You definitely could, Noemi. You definitely could. Let me... Sorry, I was in the middle of actually cleaning out this machine, and then I realized, oh, it's 7:30. Okay, so I can show you part of the process of the bobbin area. Okay. Okay, anybody got questions about it, or? So let me rethread it. Sorry, I'm just rethreading this machine. I should be an expert at this by now. Okay, there's your bobbin case. Kind of standard looking bobbin case. I think this is just a regular bobbin, to be quite honest. I don't think it's not a large bobbin. Okay. And again, it is a side loading bobbin, so I do have to kind of go under the table and pop it in. And of course it doesn't want to go in when I'm on live. Let's see. Why is it not going in? Okay, I'm having a problem with this. Why are you not operating. There it is. Okay, I don't know why that took me so long to do, but finally got it in. And let's see. Whoops. Got my thread all tangled here. There we go. We'll put of course, when it happens on a live, it takes 10 times longer. Isn't that always the case, guys? Okay, I've done this a million times, and okay, there, we got it. So let me take some scrap fabric here. Press it down. And, oh, what happened to the bobbin? Okay, so that's a con of this machine. It's very, very finicky. If you want an industrial machine, just know that there's some pros and cons to having an industrial machine. One of the cons that I find is that these machines are very, very finicky. A lot of times you see me on live, and there's a lot of thread breaks with the top thread. Especially if I'm going a little too fast. There it is. So thread tensions are pretty decent, but again, these machines can get very finicky, but when they run really well. Okay, let's try this again. Sewing foot down. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yep. Okay. Okay. So some common misconceptions about industrial machines. Well, actually, let's play a game. Okay, I'm gonna make a statement of some sort about about sewing machines or industrial machines in general, and so I'm gonna make a statement about sewing industrial machines, and you tell me, is that a myth or is that a fact? And some of these answers are probably gonna surprise a lot of you. Okay, so here is the first one. Is this a myth or is this a fact? So, industrial machines can sew through all sorts of fabrics. Okay. And this one even surprised me. That's a hint. Hello, Miss Kim. Glad you made it tonight. Um, okay, I see some people say myth, myth, fact, fact. Everybody's saying hi to Kim. Myth, myth. Okay. That's actually a myth. Okay. Certain machines are designed to, well, again, so and when it comes to industrial machines, they're not like your regular home sewing machine where you just have to have a machine that does basically everything. Industrial machines are designed for specific tasks. This machine here is actually it's primarily used by fashion designers or people who work in the fashion industry. So it's designed for lightweight fabrics, not necessarily things like leather or canvas or some of the thicker material. I've tried sewing on this machine with denim. It actually does okay with 2 layers of denim, but as soon as I go over that and try and do like 4 layers of denim, it struggled, and I noticed that the quality of the stitches got I was having skip stitches. I was having it was You could hear it struggling to pull the fabric through. And when I talked to a Juki dealer about this particular machine, and he says that this machine it's not designed to go through thicker materials. And I thought industrial machines, if you get one like this, you can just sew basically anything. And that's actually not true. And I'm glad I found out about that before I actually damaged the machine. So then I asked the dealer, well, then a lot of people say industrial machines are powerful. So what is the power for? The power actually is in the speed of the machine, not necessarily the force of the needle. This machine, believe it or not, can go at 5,000 stitches a minute. Most of your home sewing machine hover around maybe 900 to 1,000 or so. And even on some of those semi-industrial machines like the Juki 2010 TL, or I think the Brother PS50, what is it, the PS15 or so, they have a maximum, I believe it's about 1,500. Don't quote me on that, but their speed is not as fast as these machines here. Now, it's not to say that I sew at 5,000 stitches per minute. There is a trick, or it does take some getting used to when you have a machine like this, because for me, what I notice is that if I floor it, or if I just put this pedal to the metal, as we would say, it's hard for me to get an accurate 1/4 inch stitch because the machine is moving so fast, and I'm definitely I was I'm still not used to it, but you know there, that was basically me flooring, not even flooring it, maybe going about on the foot pedal, maybe about halfway down, and you saw how fast it went. But if I sew at that speed, again, I do have some issues with the thread breaking primarily because this thread is just probably not good. But anyway, the accuracy in terms of my seam allowance, I mean, my seam kind of goes in all sorts of different directions. So of course I don't sew at the maximum speed. So if you're not used to a high-speed machine, it basically the operation of it is not any different, but it's getting used to the speed. That's where a lot of people are probably going to struggle. When I first got this machine, although I was using a Juki 2010 TL, which is a pretty fast machine, I did the stupid thing of actually just flooring the pedal, and I didn't realize that this machine goes 5 times faster than my previous Juki. And as soon as I did that, oh boy, it just scared me because I wasn't ready for that speed. But you know, you learn to control the speed of the machine, just like in free motion quilting, just by the pressure that you put on the foot. There is a speed dial, but yeah, you don't really want to be messing around with that, and it's not convenient because it's down under the table. It's a knob on the motor, so yeah. So basically, the power in this machine actually comes with the speed of the needle, not the pressure of the needle. So you really can't sew through anything, or you can try it, but it's not designed to do that. I hope that all makes sense. Okay, I have cork, leather, canvas, vinyl, and cork sewing industrial machines. Yep, so Tiffany, you got a different model of industrial machine. I believe yours has the walking foot. There is no walking foot for this specific model, but since you are doing bags, it made more sense for you to get that particular machine. Hello, Miss Carissa. Okay. Myth or fact? All industrial machines cost thousands more than regular sewing machines. Good night, Daisy. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Myth or fact? All industrial machines cost thousands more than regular sewing machines. Myth, 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 myth. Okay, that's actually a myth, yes. Believe it or not, this sewing machine actually was a lot less than my Juki 2010 TL. I paid, I think, about $1,200 for the Juki. And this machine, this machine with the shipping, with the machine itself, the table, everything, even the light, came out to less than $1,000. Okay, so the cost of industrial sewing machines, well, of course, it just depends on the brand that you get as well as the features that you want. The cost of these machines are not that much more than what your regular home sewing machine costs. I mean, if you can consider that you spend $10,000 on that Brother embroidery machine, I mean, these are within a very good price range, or will be much cheaper than that. So a lot of people think, oh, since you have an industrial machine, you must have spent thousands and thousands of dollars. And nope, not really. Now, of course, like any sewing machine, the price will go up depending upon the types of features that you have with the with an industrial machine, or with the machine itself. But when it comes to industrial machines, again, you don't have all of those bells and whistles like the 10,000 decorative stitches, because again, the machine is designed to do a specific function. That is slowly changing because quilters are now entering into the market with industrial machines, but it's a very slow process. And even on some of those newer industrial machines that are specifically designed for quilters, they're much cheaper than the embroidery machines that you see, or I mean, I couldn't believe somebody actually spent $10,000 on a Brother embroidery machine. And they ended up not really liking embroidery, so it was kind of a loss for them. But that's a myth, that these industrial machines cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah, it's in the low thousands, but you know, when you buy an industrial machine like this, you're making an investment. You're kind of at the point where you are making a commitment to sewing, quilting, or something with it. So it's not exactly your entry level machine, but it's not exactly like an arm and a leg and you have to take out your another home equity loan for it. So yep. Tiffany saying mine was $1,400 and they had two more. That were, okay, so she's saying 1,400 and they had two more that were about $200 to $300 more. So not that bad. My long arm was actually more expensive than this machine. Okay, we'll do one more. Myth or fact, industrial sewing machines require special needles. Do I have a needle? Ooh, I should take out my needle. When I bought my Viking Topaz 25, it was priced at $5,000. I got it on sale for $25.99, and I love it. Wow. See, your Viking machine was more expensive than this one. Everybody's saying fact. Okay, fact. Yes, these machines do require special needles. If you do have one of those, like the Brother PQ 1500 or the Juki 2010 TL, it's the same type of needle. So it's not like I can go to Hobby Lobby and buy one of those Schmetz needles. Let me take it off. Actually, I got to change the needle anyway. And I'm not sure if the camera is going to be able to pick this up, but I do want to show this. Okay, notice that this needle is just completely round, or the needle head is just completely round. Okay, so even if I turn it, I can turn it, it's still round. On your regular home sewing machine needles, there is a flat side to it, and that flat side indicates how the needle gets inserted into your machine. But with industrial needles, there is no flat side. It's just completely round. And so to actually insert the needle correctly is a little bit tricky, because on machines like this where it's a side load bobbin, you do have to understand the different parts of the needle, where you got the head, you got the scarf, and then there's that little indentation, and you kind of have to place it so that the eye of the needle is in a certain position so that it can catch the bob, or the machine can kind of catch the bobbin head. Tiffany's saying it's like long arm needles. Yes, it is exactly like long arm needles. They're just not as thick. Eric, I have those. I can send you the needles that I accidentally purchased. Oh, okay. I'm all good for that, Remo. Okay, so these industrial machines, yeah, they do require a certain type of needle. There are some online outlets that do sell these needles, but again, most of your regular quilting stores probably won't carry, or at least in my experience, they don't carry these type of needles. I do have to get them from distributors like Superior Threads, Sewing Machines Plus. Fortunately for me here, because I'm in Los Angeles, there's a lot of fashion designers, and they have I don't want to call them sweatshops, but fashion warehouses that have these types of machines. So I could go to like a distributor that and just buy a bunch of needles from them. But I would imagine in certain parts of the country that don't have huge, a large population of fashion designers or this type of industrial, or people using these types of industrial machines, finding the right parts might be a little bit difficult. But again, you can look on Amazon, you can look at Sewing Machines Plus. They actually sell this machine. That's where I got it from. And yeah, you can get the parts from them. Okay. Well, we'll do one more. Here's a good one. So this will be quick. Myth or fact, industrial machines require a lot of maintenance. Okay. And then after that, I will go into, let me put this needle back. I'll put it back later. Hello, Miss Vivian. How are you? Glad you made it tonight. Okay. Is everybody getting something out of this? I mean, I know there was a lot of questions, and I can't remember what all the questions were, but people are saying myth. Okay, myth or fact, industrial machines require a lot of maintenance. Okay. The answer is, well, that actually depends on the machine itself. Now, this particular machine, one of the big reasons why I loved this machine is just the fact that I could do the repairs myself. So because there is no computerized parts, and it's just basically everything is mechanical, well, except the motor, that's the only electrical part to it. I could basically do all the maintenance myself well, that is assuming that I even know what I'm doing. And I've learned a lot over the years about how to maintain the machine, and how to make sure that the timing is right, how to do all the maintenance work myself. And again, because it is a mechanical machine, you can do it yourself if you're willing to learn. So the maintenance on this particular model, very, very low. But recently, Juki and a lot of the industrial or the sewing machine companies are coming out with more complex, more computerized, more basically things where you got to be a computer engineer to actually maintain it. If it's a mechanical machine, you can basically do it yourself. But if you need to or if it's got computerized parts, then that's a different story. So the maintenance, like any machine, if you maintain it, if you clean it out, if you, oil it, keep it oiled, because this is a mechanical machine, so long as I do those basic maintenance things, it'll last me a long time. Now, have heard some people say that some of the more computerized machines, they do require a little bit more maintenance or maintaining because, again, you got computerized parts. But for the most part, I mean, overall, I do hear a lot of people saying that industrial machines are a little bit more lower maintenance. Case in point, with my particular machine, I've had this for almost 7 years now. I have not had one major problem with it where I had to take it to a repair person. And if I did have some repair work, I could basically do it myself just by watching or calling my the person that I bought it from, and I just basically told them what the problem was, and they kind of could walk me through how to correct the problem. And it was just a matter of adjusting some nuts and bolts. Again, this is a mechanical machine. Had this been a computerized machine, I probably would have been taking it in at least once every 2 to 3 years or so. So yeah, in terms of the maintenance on industrial machines, it really kind of depends on the type of machine that you have, whether it is computerized or mechanical. But I think that's kind of reflectant upon any sewing machine. So if you do get an industrial machine, you might want to consider just getting a mechanical one, because you can do it all yourself, and they're way cheaper too. So let's see. I'm enjoying this, Eric. Thank you for doing this. So thank you, Susan. I would hate to have to send the industrial to a shop. They are heavy. Yep. And again, if you have to ship it out to a shop, I mean, you might as well pay the shop to actually send the mechanic to your house, because it'd probably be cheaper in that respect. Okay. So I guess real quickly, the pros and cons, or what I think the pros and cons are with having an industrial machine. Number one, if it's a mechanical machine, very, very low maintenance. Yeah, again, I've had this machine for 7 years. I have not had to have any major repairs to it done once. And most of the repairs that I did do, I could just basically do it myself. Another good thing about these machines, again, the speed. If you are a speed person and you like to speed sew, these are the machines that you probably want, because again, 5,000 stitches a minute, that's pretty darn fast. Okay. Reliability, again, well, that kind of goes with the maintenance thing. And, 7 years, not one major problem. Some of the cons, it is finicky, and as you saw me struggle trying to put the bobbin in, if it's not exactly right, or if it's a little bit off, sometimes it can throw off your whole machine. And what I did, or like if you don't insert the needle correctly, your thread can break. That's another disadvantage. So there's some quirks about industrial machines that kind of get you a little bit frustrated, but overall, you learn to deal with it, or you learn to correct the issue. Those of you who have been watching numerous lives, you oftentimes see me have thread breakage, and that's usually, well, part of it is because this thread that I'm using is not really designed for high-speed machines, but the other part of it is just the fact that yeah, it's just a machine itself. It just doesn't like this thread. Okay. Some of the other things that I don't like about it, it doesn't have a lot of the stitches or other stitches that I need. Things like, because I do applique work, I need a zigzag, in which then this machine does not have that option. So you're limited on a lot of the features and a lot of the things that sometimes come standard on your regular home sewing machine. Again, I don't have a zigzag stitch. I don't even have a thread cutter on this one. And a lot of the industrial machines don't have that feature, although that is slowly changing, because quilters have been raving about how good their thread cutters are. But yeah, this machine does not have a thread cutter. I'm actually lucky that this machine can actually stitch forward and backward. A lot of the older model industrial machines only stitch one direction and only stitch or only have straight stitches, but this one does have the ability of doing a back stitch. Any questions? I feel like I just been talking and kind of boring people. Okay. Would I recommend this machine? I think I would overall, because even though with all the quirks and all the things that you see me struggle with on live when I'm sewing live, I would still recommend this machine. It works for me. I'm not saying it'll work for all quilters or all sewing or anybody who sews. But again, if you're somebody who likes your bells and whistles with thread cutters, your decorative stitches, your embroidery, your free motion quilting, yeah, I can't do free motion quilting on here because the feed dogs don't drop. Now I could come up with some kind of a hack, but this machine is just basically not designed to do that. So, but then again, I got the long arm, so why would I? But depending upon what you need, what your needs are for sewing, if you're looking for speed, then this is definitely a machine that or an industrial machine is something you should consider. But if you need like all the bells and whistles, I don't know if you really would want one. And if you need a sewing machine that is mobile, this is definitely not something you want, because once you set this up, there's no going anywhere with it. Sounds like everyone has fancier machine than my 2000 QI. Hey, Carissa, if it still works, it still works, okay? What type of thread are you using? I am actually using Aurifil 50 weight. And I think the Aurifil, even on my Juki 2010 TL, it had a problem when I just floored it. And I do know that other people have issues when they have a high-speed sewing machine with the Aurifils. So I think it's just it might just be that these Aurifil 50 weight cottons are not designed for high-speed machines. I should ask Aurifil about that. Of course, they're going to say, oh yeah, it's designed to do that. And no. Okay, but I mean, if I'm sewing at a pretty slow, I shouldn't say slow, but at a regular pace and not just flooring it at 5,000 stitches a second or a minute, the thread does fine. Just once in a while, if I speed up too fast, I do get thread breakages, and who knows, it could just be that the thread is bad or this particular spool is bad. But again, comparing my stories and the experiences of others that I've heard, it just sort of seems like maybe this Aurifil 50 weight cotton doesn't do well in high speed situations. Okay, yeah, I have issues with it, but Aurifil 40 runs better with the Juki TL 2010Q than the 50, and the small spools break often. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't tried the 40. Maybe I should try the 40. Do I even have the 40 weight? Okay. Okay. So I hope I used the Metro high-speed thread on my high-speed machine. Yeah, Jackie, that's a good point, because someone actually recommended that I try that one, because that particular thread, it is designed for high-speed machines, and that's actually the thread that a lot of the sweatshops, the factories. I said I wasn't going to say sweatshop, but a lot of the factories do use that particular brand of thread, and it's readily available here in Los Angeles, so I don't know why I don't just try it. But I got 2 cones of Aurifil that I just need to get rid of, so I can tolerate the thread breakages, because again, I'm not sewing at 5,000 stitches a minute, so I can tolerate the thread breakages. I mean, I just got to use up these last couple cones, but yeah. Okay. Let me check my notes, make sure I got everything that I wanted to say. Any other questions about this machine? Again, I like this machine. It suits me well. I like the reliability of it. I like the durability. I shouldn't say durability, but you know, like it's a man's machine. Then what am I doing with it? But I like this machine. It's again, it suits me well. It's pretty stationary. I don't plan on taking this to retreat. So it works for me. That's just the bottom line. So not that I was trying to convince anybody to buy this machine. But yeah, I like it. I mean, again, 7 years with it, no major problems. But I guess with any sewing machine or any kind of product, you're gonna have pros and cons. It's gonna have its good points and it's gonna have its bad points. It's just a matter of can you deal with the bad points or the bad stuff? And yeah, I can with this machine. So I'm happy with it. But again, is it for all quilters or is it for anyone that sews? No. Just depends on what you want out of the sewing machine. So hope that talk helps you guys. Okay. Well, you're very welcome, Sandy. Hope that was educational for you. And maybe next time, if you are in the market for a machine, you might consider doing an industrial. If you're a speed sewer, that is. Okay, one of my machines for some reason doesn't like Metler thread. Well, surely every machine has its specific taste. It's almost like every machine has its own personality. They have their likes and their dislikes. Some people swear that Aurifil is the best thread for piecing. And some machines just don't like it. Okay. Wow. Little over an hour. So I was hoping that it wouldn't take this long, but I guess I had a lot to say about the machine. So the person that asked me the question I know is not here, but hopefully they are capturing the replay later on. So I hope that answered your question, because she had a lot of them. All right. Hey, Miss Debbie. Eric, when do you come on? Debbie, right now, at the current moment, or actually for now, I should say, I am coming on live at 7:30 Tuesday nights, Pacific Standard Time. So I believe that would be 7:30, 9:30 your time. Okay. Thank you for this presentation. I think you did a great job and covered a lot. Well, thank you, Susan. That was very interesting. Okay, great. Great, Melissa. Hope you guys, again, my goal with doing the videos like this, I'm not trying to persuade you to buy an industrial machine, but just more or less to educate you about the machines, and so that if you are in the market of getting a new sewing machine, you'll be better equipped and you're not having some salesperson just kind of do their sales pitch at you and try to make you feel guilty into buying one. So, yes, you are correct. I use what my machine likes. Don't want to upset my machine. Yeah. Okay. Other things that are going on, well, you can kind of see I made a little bit of progress on my baby quilt back there. I still got to do my inset triangles, which I'm not looking forward to, but I have to actually find some fabric that'll go well with that. So, yeah, that's coming along. This past weekend I did a lot of filming, so hopefully this coming weekend I can do a lot of editing, and I do owe you the next video for the scrap strips, strings, and crumbs series, or the S3C series. Why do I always come up with these complicating titles? And I get my own self tongue-tied. So be on the lookout for that. I was trying to get it all done this past weekend, but it never happened. So I am going to be well, I did a lot of filming again this weekend. So, and there's a little bit of an adventure in there. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. And we had a lot of fun on our last Zoom chat, as Miss T and Miss Remo and Miss Carla can attest to. And we got to meet Carla's mom. No. But yeah, and I believe Carissa was on one last month. So we have a lot of fun on those chats. So, just if you're available on the first Sunday night, join us on Zoom. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I see some people are saying good night anyway. So I'm going to call this a live session. So I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Hope you got something out of knowing about this Juki machine, or knowing about industrial machines in general. Maybe you'll buy one, maybe not. But if you do, great. If you don't, that's okay too, as long as you love the machine that you have. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I know it's late for some of you, but you guys are hanging in there, so thank you guys. With that, I shall say have a great rest of your week, and you know what I'm gonna say, so let's all say it together. Let's all go out and let's all create something. Bye for now.